You look at the world and see things as separate, hot and cold, light and dark, strength and weakness. You think these things are just opposing forces battling for dominance in a chaotic universe. But what if the most powerful force in existence wasn't about winning a fight? What if it was about the perfect, terrifying balance between two things that shouldn't coexist? This is the core of the ancient philosophy of Ying and Yang, a concept that dictates that everything in existence is born from the interplay of opposing yet complementary forces. You've seen this reflected in modern internet culture, specifically in the chaotic, recursive humor known as Brainrot, the 6 and 7 phenomenon. It's a strange digital distortion of logic where layers of meaning collapse into nonsense. But when you look at Satoru Gojo, the strongest sorcerer in existence, you realize that he is the human embodiment of this exact paradox. You might think his powers of reversal red and amplified blue are just flashy explosions, but the real answer is far deeper and more unsettling. You have to understand that Gojo doesn't just throw energy around. He acts as the bridge between infinity and nothingness. Think about the nature of the Yin and Yang symbol. It isn't two halves of a circle fighting. It's a fluid dance. The black contains a seed of white, and the white contains a seed of black. It suggests that nothing is ever truly pure, and nothing is ever truly void. Anthropologists like Claude Lévi-Strauss spent their lives studying how human societies use these binary oppositions to categorize the world. He argued that we construct mythologies to bridge the gap between things like nature and culture, or raw and cooked. When you look at Gojo, you are looking at a living mythology. Now, look at Gojo's limitless technique. Blue is the amplification of limit. It brings the world together, pulling space toward a focal point by creating a vacuum of negative distance. Red is the reversal. It pushes space away, a violent expansion of infinite positive energy. On their own, they are just forces. But when you combine them, you get hollow purple. This is the synthesis of creation and destruction, an imaginary mass that shouldn't exist, yet does.
This is the ultimate expression of harmony between two impossible opposites. It is exactly how the 6-7 Brainrot logic functions. In that chaotic digital space, you take two unrelated, absurd concepts, the 6 and the 7, and you force them into a harmony that defies traditional understanding. It creates a new, bizarre truth that exists only because the two conflicting ideas were mashed together. In the 1970s, psychologist Robert Zajonc studied the mere exposure effect, proving that you begin to like things simply because you see them repeatedly, regardless of their logic. Brainrot operates on a hyper-accelerated version of this. By repeating the 6 and 7, the brain stops trying to find logical meaning and instead finds comfort in the rhythm. It becomes a ritual. You are witnessing the same physics in both a TikTok edit and a curse technique. Researchers of cognitive dissonance often note that the human brain struggles to hold two contradictory ideas at once, yet when it does, it experiences a unique, often humorous release. This is why you find both Gojo's power and the absurdity of Brainrot so compelling. They both force your brain to reconcile the infinite with the singular. Think about the concept of the Uncanny Valley, popularized by roboticist Masahiro Mori. When something looks almost human but not quite, your brain hits a snag. It's a moment of cognitive friction. Brainrot memes exist in the uncanny valley of logic. They look like jokes, but they lack the punchline. Gojo, likewise, exists in the uncanny valley of power. He is a human who has moved beyond human limits. He is the infinite. When he removes his blindfold, he has seen the world in a way no human should be able to see it. He is processing the absolute math of the universe, the same way a Brainrot algorithm processes the raw, unadulterated data of human attention. You might believe that power comes from having more of something, more strength, more speed, more influence,
But Gojo proves that true power comes from being the master of the void between extremes.
He stands at the center of the yin and yang, the point where the black and white swirl together into total stillness. Think of the Dunning-Kruger effect, where individuals with limited knowledge overestimate their competence. Gojo is the inverse. He has total knowledge, and because of that, he is often seen as detached, almost bored. He understands that the fight itself is merely a consequence of the balance. Consider the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. You cannot know both the position and the momentum of a particle at the same time. The more you know about one, the less you know about the other. This is the fundamental barrier of the physical universe. Gojo effectively bypasses this. By manipulating the space between, he is effectively everywhere and nowhere at once.
He is the embodiment of the particle-wave duality. He is the 6. He is the 7. He is the space that connects them. As you journey deeper into this, consider the concept of entropy. In thermodynamics, the second law states that the universe tends toward disorder. Energy disperses. Systems break down. Brainrot is, in a way, the digital manifestation of high entropy. Data scattering, context eroding, meaning dissolving into static. Yet Gojo represents the counter-entropic force. He is negentropy. He gathers the scattered pieces of the universe, the distance, the space, the potential, and forces them into a highly ordered singular state. He is the antithesis of the decay you see when you watch a meme degrade in quality as it is shared across the internet. Where others see the end of order, Gojo sees the beginning of a new structure. This brings us back to the ancient roots of the Tao, the way. The Tao is not a destination, it is the process of movement. It is the riverbed that shapes the water, and the water that carves the riverbed. You are the observer in this process. When you engage with these digital loops, you are essentially performing a modern, secular ritual of making sense of the nonsensical. You are training your neuroplasticity to accept that 2 + 2 can, under the right conditions, equal the number 7. You are expanding the limits of your own cognitive infinity. This is not just about a fictional character or a silly meme. It is about the fundamental way you interact with an overwhelming, data-saturated world. You are learning to exist in the spaces between the 0 and the 1 of your digital life. You are becoming a master of your own perception. Whether it's the high-stakes battle of a sorcerer or the low-stakes loop of a Brainrot meme, you are being shown the same fundamental truth.
The universe isn't a collection of things. It's a conversation between opposites. You are the one who decides whether to see that conversation as a battle or as a harmony. Just as Gojo balances the infinite to keep his world from collapsing into chaos, you are constantly balancing your own perception of what is real and what is just noise. The separation is the illusion. The balance is the only reality that actually persists. And in the middle of that balance, you are finally free to stop searching for meaning and start witnessing the dance. You look at the world and see things as separate, but you've always known that everything, at its core, is just two sides of the same infinite coin. When the screen turns off and the black reflection of the monitor stares back at you, you aren't seeing darkness. You are seeing the potential for the light to return. The 6 and the 7 settle into silence. The sorcerer closes his eyes, and you, in the quiet, finally understand that you were never watching the show. You were the show.